Well, let's discuss the news of the morning. I've been waiting to see financials on this, but we'll go ahead and just announce it. Josh Bailey's staying with the Islanders 6 more years. I haven't heard how much it's worth yet. We'll probably hear that later today. I'm waiting for Bob McKenzie to report it. He usually finds this stuff out. So yeah, Bailey's staying, which means Tavares is staying. This is what you do. This is Garth Snow. This is a smart move. And I know Islander fans are going to be triggered by it, but it's a smart move by Garth Snow. You sign Bailey first because he's the easier one to sign, and then you go to John Tavares and say, all right, we got a building coming, we've got stability here, and we're keeping your buddy Josh Bailey on the roster. What do you say? You come and you sign on for another 7, 8, however many years it takes. And Tavares spends his entire career as a New York Islander. I know. The Islanders should be making trades. The Islanders should be fixing their goaltending problem. Yada, yada, yada. But, Garth Snow has made some moves that have been stupid, and he's made some moves that have been pretty good. And overall, his track record, I did a video on Garth Snow, and his track record's not that bad. His issue this year is he's had a goaltending problem from October 1st, and he hasn't addressed it. And there are other teams who have addressed their goaltending issues. Now, there's two things going on here. Either he's been unable to figure out what he wants to get, and he's been unwilling to pony up what other teams want for their goalies, or the pro scouting for the New York Islanders is not up to snuff with other teams. And I'm talking about Vegas in this here. Vegas, every time they get a guy on waivers, every time they pick a guy up, the guy turns out to be really, really solid for their team, meaning that whoever's going around the NHL and scouting talent, when somebody's on waivers and lets George McPhee know, hey, you want this guy, the Islanders don't have that same benefit. So I'm glad to see Bailey staying with the Islanders. I think Tavares is going to stay too. I think that's going to upset a lot of people, but that's where it's headed. Other odd news from this morning. So Scott Wedgewood was traded for by the Kings, and now they've waived him. Their plan is to send him down to Manchester, and then Jack Campbell will be the backup for Jonathan Quick from here. That's gutsy, because Jack Campbell has put up decent stats in the American Hockey League level. If Jack Campbell is going to be an NHL goaltender now, if the Kings have managed to transform another cast-off into an NHL goaltender, they are officially miracle workers. When Campbell left the Dallas organization, I was glad for it, because I was tired of Jack Campbell this, Jack Campbell that when it comes to the future, and I just didn't see him getting any better. If anything, he was regressing. You'd see his stats at the American League level weren't that great, and then he'd end up spending half the year in the East Coast League. So, it's taken a long, long time for Jack Campbell to get a roster spot in the NHL. I'm glad for him. I'll be interested to see what happens with the Kings from here. I'm kind of surprised to see Wedgewood waived, and yet clearly the reason that Kemper gets moved, they want Reeder for some depth up front, and they felt that Jack Campbell was ready. The LA Kings making a bold move here as well. So while I gave Arizona the win in that trade, if Jack Campbell's ready, and if Jack Campbell can put up numbers anywhere similar to what Darcy Kemper was, the Kings are a more wily bunch than I gave them credit for with the Kemper deal. And getting Reeder, and if they get Campbell, and if Campbell's not a downgrade from Kemper, then they came out of this one all right too. But there you go. So that's the news of the morning. I don't really have a whole lot to add to it. We don't know the financials with Bailey. I would suspect $6 billion, $6.5 billion. That would be my suspicion per year. Is it going to be too much? Maybe. The thing with Bailey, the only thing with Bailey is he could regress next year. He had, I think the first 6 years of his NHL career, he had about 40 points a year. And then all of a sudden, the last year and a half, he's exploded offensively. So is the explosion what's real? Is he going to keep doing that? Or is he going to end up going back to being a point every other game guy? If he goes back to being a point every other game guy, then it's not going to look great for Snow. But otherwise, it's a pretty good move, because this is the move that's probably going to keep Tavares on the island. And they're not only killing the trade deadline, they're killing July 1st as well. So good move by the Islanders and the GMs of the NHL, saying trade deadline day shouldn't matter, and neither should free agent frenzy, which will drive TSN and Sportsnet into a fit. But Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.